Be honest, is dating men a scam? Welcome to the Logo Spill Bar, where the drinks are strong, the tea is hot, and the guests are... I'm your bartender and host, Johnny Sibilly, and today's guest is a hilarious actress, comedian, and host. She brought pansexuality to the recent iCarly reboot and constantly spreads the art of the grift on her hit podcast, Scam Goddess. She's about to swindle her way into our dark hearts. Please welcome Laci Mosley. Ooh, I know that's right. Come on, Bob.
Gotta bring the Bobbiana, honey, okay? I had to show my Robert for you, Johnny.
Yes, thank you for coming. I'm gonna do one of these Oprah things, so we can stay sitting. Please tell me about this look.
So I'm wearing a little mugler.
Okay.
Come take me out this mugler, Cardi B. And I got these at the Gap.
I love that. A little high-low.
And then I got these from Christian, and I only wear them when I'm sitting.
Okay, show the camera. Boom!
I'm gonna give you one more, just a
Okay,
little.
yeah. Ooh, bam. All
I
right.
gotta use the flexibility while I still have it.
I'm so happy to have you here. I have a lot of questions for you. Are you ready to get into it?
I am.
I don't know why that sounded so much more serious than it is.
It did. I feel like I'm on 2020 now.
Okay, we'll be getting into all things scam, but one thing you did not scam was your way onto the reboot of iCarly. Your character, Harper, is pansexual. What is it like to bring a queer representation that is so juicy to this beloved show?
You know, so when I came out, it was more of an outing, and it wasn't like, I don't think it was intentional, but it was like, I did a podcast years ago where they asked me, it was like in somebody's rich living room. I said, look, you know when rich people just be doing a podcast or something? And they asked me, they were like, what's your type? And I was like, it's anywhere from like a Tessa Thompson to a Michael B. Jordan. And then that was an interview that got pulled up when I booked iCarly, but they knew my sexuality. And I am pan, which, you know, they're like, she's bi. I was like, yeah, y'all close enough. We're going with it. But it felt like a huge responsibility. I really want to shout out Francesca Ramsey because she is also queer, and she was in the room as a writer and a black woman, obviously, and a baddie. And so she really took care of Harper's character because we didn't want her to be one-dimensional. We didn't want her to be a trope, and we certainly didn't want her to just, her sexuality to be traumatic. Right. Because I feel like those stories are super important and obviously like really beautiful to tell the stories of queer people who have struggled or who have, you know, faced a lot of adversity, which is clearly like all of us, but you know, to certain degrees, but we wanted this to be a source of queer joy. Like we wanted her to just be gay. There's no coming out. She's just gay all the time, you know. And then at the first Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards when we won, I said on the mic, I was like, shout out to the Sapphics. And then and then that was about, they letting us say Sapphic on Nickelodeon. We won.
Yes, exactly. Were you a fan of the OG iCarly?
I was.
Yeah.
I would watch it when I got home from school, which was, that makes me sound so young. Because I am. No. But no, yeah, I watched it. It was super funny, and like, it was like a fantasy for me. I don't know if other kids felt like this, but for me, like, my parents were very involved in my life. They were very like, you must achieve, you must succeed. And so when I watch iCarly, I'm like, wow, a world with no parents.
All right, so the last episode of iCarly left us with a cliffhanger. So for the fans, which are right here,
Hey, y'all.
I have to ask, you know the identity of Carly and Spencer's mom.
Oh, okay, this is something that I get tweeted about constantly, tagged in. I don't. I wish I did. Yeah. We've laughed about the people that were pitched. My favorite pitch, I think, from the fans was Sandra Oh, which me and Miranda were cracking up about. Like, I would send her pictures of people that, you know. But unfortunately, we didn't get to that
Who
point.
would you have pitched?
Honestly, Miranda has a movie coming out with Brooke Shields. And when I looked at them next to each other, I was like, it'll be on Netflix, y'all. That's my sis. So, you know, we got super proud. But when I looked at her next to Brooke, because they shot it in Thailand, when I looked at her next to Brooke, I was like, she could have been Mother. Like, she is Mother, and she could have been
Right. She's definitely Mother. You have been cast on a Black Lady sketch show, a series regular on the reboot of iCarly, and you're currently starring in Lopez versus Lopez. What's the secret to nailing comedy across different forms?
I would say that this one, and I just want to say this because I'm petty. I don't think that comedy gets enough respect in the industry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and by that I mean, like, you know, when you see like award shows, they'll be like best actor in a drama.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be like best actor in a comedy, variety, flip book, some my grandmama saw at church, commercial, blimp ad. You know what I mean? Like, it's so broad, and what we do is it's really challenging. And honestly, if it's not in you, it ain't on you. And so you can make it better, you can hone your skills, but like, you have to be born with timing. And so I think that across different mediums, I certainly have to like know how much camera is on me. Like, for example, like iCarly is like what we call a multicam. So there's 5 different cameras on you, and they're really far away. So it's basically like you're shooting a play. Lopez is the same, and they have a live audience. But then when you're on like a Black Lady sketch show or something like that, it's single camera, which means there's like 1 or 2 cameras on you, and they're much closer to your face. So the only thing that I adjust is like on certain shows I'm like, and on other shows I'm like, So,
and it's that subtlety that gets you those awards and bookings.
It does.
You stay booked.
The subtlety is what the girls want. You know what I mean? So, and that's no shade. I love it. I love the industry, but I just always think like the reason I'm saying that is because like when you talk about watchability and you talk about things that save people, like comedy really has saved me, brought me up in dark times. I'll binge, you know, The Office or Modern Family. I love Sofia Vergara, and those shows like make me happy and make me feel less alone. You know what I mean? You never heard somebody like, "Hey, y'all, like we got some blunts, we got some liquor. Y'all pull up. We finna watch 12 Years a Slave." Like, it's like that's a very important, beautiful movie, but you're gonna watch it once, and it's devastating. Whereas comedy, you watch it over and over again. And you feel like you're hanging out with
like a
people.
warm blanket sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Do you feel being Black and queer that you are funnier?
I will say yes, and here's why. When you are Black and you are queer, like your navigation of the world is much more complicated. So we have to have a larger lexicon. You know what I mean? I have to know what the girlies are doing on Frasier, tossed salad and scrambled eggs. But at the same time, I can also tell you what they doing on Zeus. So it's like we just have like a larger thing to gather from because we're, and I'm not saying this of all like white people, but you know, when you're more singularly focused on your own culture and you don't really like dip into everybody else's that much, you just don't have as much to pull from. You know what I mean? Because you hablas español también, you want to talk about the ballet también, you want to talk about like whatever, like let's get into it. You know what I mean? But it's like, so it does help when you're kind of having to assimilate a lot.
And that's on intersectionality. You're the host of the award-winning podcast Scam Goddess.
Yes.
A podcast dedicated to fraud and all those who practice it.
Practice because it's an art.
I have to ask, is scamming queer culture?
Oh, definitely. I mean, especially when you think about how queer culture became so mainstream. Like it was kind of the con, you know what I mean? Like it started with the balls that were like all the white girl balls, and then, you know, once queer people of color were like, well, we're gonna get our own balls, and then, you know, in New York, like, and then that culture slowly, because we can dress and we can do makeup, and so then the women were like, well, come on over, and then, you know what I mean? It's like we started worming our way, and now, like, our culture is basically like
culture.
Although I do get a cringe every time like they catch on to a new phrase and they just start using it wrong. Like, we're here to sip on the teaspoons. House down boots tonight on TBS, and I'm like, what?
We're serving.
But I'm glad there. I'm glad.
We're serving for Target.
This
we
Pride
love Target.
Month.
We love Target.
We love Target. We love Target. And we
for Target.
We appreciate y'all. Bullseye on the. We'll be there.
What's the biggest scam plaguing the LGBTQ plus community today?
How do you put me in this position, Johnny? I'm gonna have to say, like, we have to get over the body shaming. And I'm gonna speak directly for, you know, my non-binary theys, thems, royalties, or whenever you see, like, particularly cisgendered men who are, you know, playing with the fits and wearing like a sexy look, or maybe it's something more femme. Like, if it's femme on Harry Styles, oh, it's But if it's femme on Sam Smith, then what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? And it's like the only difference is the size. And so we gotta stop doing that because I want to see all the girlies with their titties out, like whenever they want.
Titties and ass.
Yes.
Out. That's what pride means to me. We would love to play a game that we just made up. This game is called Is This a Scam? I'll rattle off some prompts and you share your unfiltered thoughts on these things, if they're scams or not. The first one. Astrology. Scam?
No. Tell me your zodiac sign so I can decide if I hate you.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer sun, and then I'm a Libra rising.
Okay.
I'm an Aries moon.
Ooh, she likes to tussle and she can't decide what she wants, but a little emotional.
And I'm a Leo Venus.
Oh, okay.
I'm all over. That's why I'm a good
That's
scammer.
what
I
the
can
look is giving.
get with
It's
everybody.
giving Leo, it's giving wow.
Yeah.
Living in LA. Is this a scam?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of it. Every single part of it. Yeah. And I love it because I'm Delulu. But I try to be just Delulu enough. Not all the way wild, but like.
What would you say is the biggest scam about LA?
Parking. I have been told 12 times. I gave the LADOT several Gucci bags. I'm not even kidding. I went so often that they knew me at Hollywood Toe. They would pull up my file. Like, it's like, I shouldn't be homies with y'all like this.
Straight culture. Is this a scam?
I've never heard those two words together.
Drag them.
I don't know.
You don't have culture.
Yeah, and I
people,
don't.
sorry.
That's why they always all up in our business.
They're obsessed. Be honest, is dating men a scam?
Yes, and I have recently stopped.
No hesitation whatsoever.
I couldn't do it no more. I was like, listen, I might just have to be fully gay. G-I-G-H. Gay. I was like, I can't do this no more.
Right.
Like, I was so down bad. And then I was like, for what?
For what?
For what?
Really? For what?
So, the whole like $200 date conversations. And even you see it with like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, where you're seeing all these kind of incel dudes on the internet now being like, oh, we know why Taylor's with Travis because, if he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to get a $70,000 bonus check. Taylor's worth $1.1 billion. She don't need nothing on that man but what's attached to him. And she don't need that because they got better products. Okay? He's blessed. And y'all need to mind your business. Your own business.
What's the bigger scam? Bisexual erasure or the objectification of bi women?
I'm going to have to say the objectification for bi women. Because I don't think that there is bisexual erasure. Personally, I feel like we are the most annoying of the ligga-bigga-tigga. Because, we have a very full section.
Right.
And I'm a clock right now. Y'all gonna drag me. But, there's a lot of people in our section, a lot of white women in our section with boyfriends. We be down bad.
Yeah.
But I think that the sexualization, especially with women, it's always seen like I feel bad for cisgendered men because they don't get the same acceptance as we do because there's something in straight culture that still thinks that a bisexual woman is for the gratification of a man. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, two girls kissing so hot.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this isn't about you.
Yeah.
But they looking in the corner like, it is though, right? It's for us. And we're like, no, it's not.
Take
They're like,
your
and
fedora
twins?
and go.
No.
Not twins. That's so weird.
It's not.
Yeah.
That was a beer commercial for forever.
Of course it was.
Yes. Whoever the beer was, I love that beer, so y'all sponsored But yeah, but unfortunately, you don't see that same grace given to bi men. I believe that bisexual men exist, and I feel like they should give the same grace. I love a bisexual
man. If you're watching this, I love a bisexual man.
I do too. Their houses are always so nice. They have so many plants.
Usually live in Brooklyn.
Dress really well. There's one, I'm thinking of somebody in particular.
Oh.
He knows who he is.
Oh, he knows who he is.
Yeah, he knows who he is.
You know who you want. Your debut essay collection, Scam Goddess, Lessons from a Life of Cons, Grifts, and Schemes, comes out this fall. Just tease a little bit about the book.
So, this book kind of came about as a little bit of a scam for me because I wasn't thinking of being an authoress at the time. At the time, I was actually shooting iCarly, Lopez, and the Outlaws movie.
Books. I'm
and
telling you,
like
books.
the podcast. Like, it was really a lot. And slowly, my publisher, shout out to Shannon, she like walked me into exactly what she wanted from me, which was a memoir that was tied to scam stories. So the book is basically different parts of my life. So we go through romance scams. You can see how I've been scammed in romance, and sometimes it gets kind of real. But it's jokes. Like, there's a 10 commandment of scams very early on, and I'll give you one of them, and that is like, if you're throwing a party and your neighborhood doesn't have parking, it cannot be BYOB, because I already BYO me. So how dare you? The whole tea of my book is like, I feel like there's a lot of books where people either are like, here's my life, or here's how you can learn or be better and improve. I'm not gonna tell you none of that. It's lots of wisdom in there, take it or leave it. Sometimes I don't follow my own advice. Most of the time I don't. So you get to see me make mistakes and make them again. Like,
oh my God, that is so real. That is so real. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Oh, yes.
Take the drink with you.
Much. Oh, you know I will. I love how you said that like I wasn't gonna do it, but that was already the plan, honey.